यमुनातीरावनचारि यमुनातीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय भरानिका गोरानिका जय गोरानिका निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय 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 प्रभुपाद Prabhupada ki jai. Chandrapatpur, can you share the 27 important verses of Bhagavad Gita so that we'll chant those verses first? Few verses, maybe up to 15 verses we can chant, and then we can start with the second chapter. On the screen, so all of you will be trying to chant the verses. Every verse will be chanting 2 times. धृतराष्ट्रवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय धृतराष्ट्रवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता यश्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता यश्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोचान् अन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोचान् अन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्यः तां तितिक्षस्व भारत। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखः आगमापायिनो नित्यः तां तितिक्षस्व भारत। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गासञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गासञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते। क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। श्रीभगवानुवाच कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजोगुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्धेनाम् इह वैरिणम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजोगुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्धेनाम् इह वैरिणम्। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे। जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन। जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन। भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति। भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति। योगिनाम् अपि सर्वेषां मद्गदेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः। योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गदेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः। बहुनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः। bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha antakaale cha mameva smaranmuktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yasti nastatra samshayah antakaale cha mameva smaranmuktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparutam ashnami prayatah पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्ता प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्ति उपारुतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः. So till here we'll do, and next class we'll try to do after that the remaining verses also. So let us see how Arjuna is giving various excuses. So here in this chapter, we'll find the fifth reason of Arjuna for not fighting the war. Already he has given 4 reasons for not fighting the war, and he has sat down in his chariot. And then now Arjuna speaks, and Krishna is actually telling him that it's not befitting you. It's not befitting you. People will call you as Anarya, and you will not have any fame also. Akirtim, Anaryam, and it is Klaibyam Masmagama Partha. What type of impotency has come onto you? Give up such weakness of heart. Krishna is giving a friendly advice. Still a friendly advice is going on. And now Arjuna says, Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsami Pujar How Arisudana. So, how can I fight with Bhishma Pitamaha? How can I counteract my own teachers, my own grandfather with the arrows? Ishubhi Pratiyotsami Pujar How Arisudana. They are all worthy of worship. Oh Madhusudana, you are Arisudana. So Madhusudana, here there was a misunderstanding in the heart of Arjuna that Madhu belongs to a distant relative of Krishna. Then Krishna says, no, Madhu is a demon. Okay, you have killed a demon, but you have not experienced killing your own grandfather or your teacher. So you have killed Ari. Ari means you are killer of a demon. But these are not demons. They are my relatives, and they are worthy of worship. They are my teachers. So it's a general etiquette. Even the superiors are not to be given a verbal fight. So even if they are harsh in their behavior, one should not treat them very harshly. That is a general etiquette. Even by the words, one should not insult or counteract elders. And now you're asking me to kill my own people who are all worthy of worship. So then in the 5th verse he says, then Krishna says, then what are you going to do if you're not going to fight? How are you going to live? Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaikshyamapi haloke hatvartakamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaikshyamapi haloke. They are all superiors. I cannot kill them. They are mahanubhavan. They are great souls. Better is I go and beg. Because Krishna is asking, how will you maintain your life? If you don't have a desire for a kingdom, how are you going to maintain your life? Because you need some profession. You need some udyoga. So then he says it is better to maintain by begging for food without having to kill the elders. It's better to beg. Actually, it is a condemned thing for a Kshatriya. It is going to cause infamy in my life, Arjuna says. But that is not going to create impediments in the next life. Because if I kill my own people, I'll incur sin. So it is a shameful thing for a Kshatriya in this life. But I am ready to take it up. Because that is not going to create a big obstacle in the future, that is in the next life. And also here he says they are Mahanubhavan. They are all great souls. Then in the next two lines he says, Atvartakamanstu guru nihaiva. Even if I win by killing these people, then bhunjiya bhogana rudira pradigdhan. What am I going to enjoy? The things which will be tainted by their blood. So what is the use of getting those things which is tainted by their blood? But somebody may say, what type of great authorities they are? They have sold themselves for greed of wealth to Duryodhana. So what kind of great souls they are, and why we are having so much of concern for killing such type of greedy people? So the gurus are actually unqualified here. Even if you present it like this, even if the gurus are unqualified because of the desire for the wealth, then what is the use of enjoying those things which I'm getting from them, which is mixed with their blood, contaminated blood? So it's a very technical thing. Rudira pradigdhan. Even if I have to enjoy killing those greedy people who are not fit to be called as the gurus, but what is the use of getting those things, and how am I going to enjoy those things which is tainted by their blood? So they are contaminated. The things belonging to them is also contaminated. So though contaminated with pride in fighting, they are still worthy of respect. So in this way, very clearly it has been told that there is no use of killing great people. Better is I go and beg. And even if I kill those great people who have become greedy and contaminated, then I am not going to enjoy anything which belongs to them, which is again contaminated by their blood. So now here, this verse is the answer for the question arising in many of the innocent people's heart. Why is it that Bhishma Pitamaha, who is a great devotee, took the side of Kauravas? Why is it that Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitamaha, why they went to the side of Duryodhana? In spite of knowing, especially Bhishma Pitamaha knew, and he's a grandfather. Why is it that he took the side of Duryodhana and not of Pandavas? So the first reason, there is a nice story of Banasur. He was a demon. This Banasur did a lot of tapasya to please Lord Shiva. And he wanted Lord Shiva to put him to fight Vishnu. Lord Shiva is a great devotee of Vishnu, of Krishna, technically Krishna. And he wants Lord Shiva to be in his and to fight with Krishna. Now Lord Shiva intentionally takes the side of Banasur and fights with Krishna. And in this way, Banasur is killed by Krishna, thus giving a wrong confidence in the heart of a demon. And in this way, bringing the demon before Krishna. So taking this example, here also Bhishma Pitamaha, he gave a confidence, a wrong confidence you can say, an artificial confidence you can say, in the heart of Duryodhana, by which he got that strength to come and face Pandavas, onto whose side Krishna has taken, Krishna is there. So giving an artificial confidence, that was the work of Bhishma Pitamaha. That is why, just because of the presence of Bhishma Pitamaha, presence of Dronacharya, so here the Duryodhana had got that confidence to fight with Pandavas, because Krishna has to establish dharma. Krishna has to uproot adharma. And to bring this adharma before dharma, the great warriors, that is Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, intentionally took the side of the Kauravas. The second reason, Bhishma Pitamaha, when he was fighting, and that war was going on, at that time Duryodhana doubted that Bhishma Pitamaha is not really putting the efforts. Why is it that he is passing his time? So then, just to please Duryodhana, Bhishma Pitamaha took a vow that tomorrow I am going to kill all the Pandavas. Just imagine Bhishma. Bhishma is, this name has come to him because of the great vow he had taken in his youth, that I am not going to marry. That is how he has got, he's Gangaputra. He got this name Bhishma because when he takes the vow, he sees that he fulfills it. Now Krishna also knows that he is Bhishma. That means he's very strong in his vows. To break his vow, Krishna made a wonderful plan. He told, you put the veil, burkha you say, veil, what you say, gungat. You put your gungat and go to Bhishma and pay obeisances. She paid obeisances. Bhishma thought, Saubhagya, lady has come. And in this way he said, Saubhagyavati Bhava. Immediately she took out her veil and said, thank you very much. Then he understood this is the game of Krishna. Because when he says Saubhagyavati Bhava, that means her husbands are protected. Oh, Krishna has intention. This is the work of Krishna. Krishna has intentionally done to break my vow, and I'll see to that Krishna breaks his vow. Because Krishna has taken the vow that he is not going to participate in the war. So next day, there was a great war which was going on. Both the sides were shooting the arrows. Bhishma is shooting the arrows. And he wanted to see that Krishna also breaks the vow. And Krishna saw that how intensely Bhishma is throwing the arrows, and here Arjuna is getting hurt. And Krishna could not see that. Krishna gets down from the chariot, takes the wheel in his hand, and runs towards Bhishma. That is how Krishna's name becomes Rathangapani. Rathangapani means taking the Ratha's wheel, Rathangapani, in his hand and runs towards Bhishma. The moment he takes any wheel in his hand, Sudarshan enters. So it is no more Ratha's wheel, it is Sudarshan itself. That means Krishna has broken his vow that he is not going to participate in the war. In fact, he has taken an astra and goes towards Bhishma, who stands with folded hands because he wanted to see this form of Krishna. So in this way, Krishna's name is Satyavrata. For the words given by his devotees, he is ready to break his vow. He wants to prove his words to be true. That is why one of the name of Krishna is Satyavrata. He sees that the words given by the devotees, like Krishna told to Arjuna, tell to the whole, declare, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. That is a word given by Krishna. But he did not give it on his own. He told Arjuna to give. He could have told Name Bhakta Pranashyati, but he told Arjuna, you tell. You tell to the whole world. You declare. Because sadhus have more faith in the devotees of Krishna rather than on Krishna. Because Krishna can give up his words. But when the words are given by his devotees, then Krishna will prove the words of the devotees to come true. That is why Krishna's name is Satyavrata. Krishna loves his devotees. The moment the devotees give a word, immediately he will prove that words to be true. Now, Bhishma Pitama is a great devotee of Krishna. So now, Bhishma Pitama is always in the chivalrous mood. There are different types of rasa. One of the rasa is chivalry rasa. Chivalrous means Veera rasa. Veera rasa means like in the childhood, the child likes to fight with the father, sits on the chest of the father and does the boxing with the father, and father also likes to play with the child. So this type of Veera rasa with the child shows to the father. It is not out of enmity, it's out of love and some excitement. They make a fun with each other. So that the game played by the child with the father. So even in the Parthasarathi Loka, there is a Loka known as Parthasarathi Loka, where Krishna is always Sarthi for Arjuna. Parthasarathi. One of the name of Krishna is Parthasarathi. So Krishna always takes the form of the Sarthi of Arjuna. And on the opposite side, there is Bhishma. And the fighting scene always happens in the Parthasarathi Loka, but that is out of fun. And there Bhishma likes to see the beauty of Krishna. Like more than even Arjuna, who was fortunate to see the beauty of Krishna, that is Bhishma. Because he is on the opposite side, he could see the beauty of Krishna continuously. Arjuna was behind. So Arjuna could not see the beauty of Krishna. So especially when the dust raises up, during the war, the dust raises up, goes and sticks on the face of Krishna. Krishna is blackish blue in color. But when the dust comes and sticks on his face, he becomes Panduranga. Panduranga means coated with white, like powder you put. Even though the lady may be very dark in color, if she puts powder, then how she looks. So like that, Krishna is dark in color, applied so much of powder. So he is Panduranga. That is how the name Panduranga comes. When he brings the cows, the dust which rises from the hoof of the calves or the cows, what happens? Those dust comes and sticks on his face, he immediately becomes Panduranga. Panduranga means very whitish in color. But actually hands and all are blackish. Only the face is so whitish in color. So now here also, Bhishma is enjoying and relishing the beauty of Krishna. And he always wants to be in that position. He does not want to be in the side of Pandavas because because his eternal position is relishing Krishna's beauty from the other side. Then his eternal position will be lost, or his eternal service. What is that eternal service? Relishing Krishna's beauty, remaining on the opposite side. So this Veera Rasa, he is enjoying even when he is there in the side of Kauravas. He is a great devotee and he always wants to remain in his eternal position. Now, this is the third reason. Now the fourth reason is, while shooting the arrows, some arrows prick Krishna. Because when you are shooting the arrow, naturally the Parthasarathi is in the front. Arjuna is getting hurt, no doubt. But Krishna is also getting hurt. But for Krishna, it is not a hurt. When the arrows come and prick the body of Krishna, Krishna is reminded of the bite of the gopis. In the conjugal love, the gopis bite Krishna. And Krishna is reminded of the gopis of Vrindavan. Where? In the Kurukshetra war. Just imagine. Even the Kurukshetra war, Krishna is reminded of the gopis of Vrindavan, that too only because Bhishma is there on the opposite side and Bhishma is throwing arrows and some blood oozes out from the body of Krishna. Krishna is reminded of the bite of the gopis of Vrindavan in the conjugal love. So these are the reasons for increasing the pleasure of Krishna, for giving a wrong confidence or artificial confidence in the heart of Duryodhana, for enjoying the eternal mood which always Bhishma has with Krishna. Bhishma is there on the other side of the Pandavas. So here, Himmanu, how we can understand this verse is for giving the reason why Bhishma is there on the other side. These two words, Himha, Himahanu. Just join it. Himha. Him means Himalaya. The mountain which is cladded by the snow. That is him. Him means snow. Ha. Ha means which cuts the snow. What cuts the snow? Or what melts the snow? The sun. Sun melts the snow, right? But the sun is not affected by melting the snow. Sun dries the stool, but sun is not affected by the drying up of the stool. In the same way, Bhishma, though on the other side, is not affected by any adharma. Bhishma is Mahanubhavan, a great soul. He is like a sun who is not affected by even melting or drying up, is not affected. So though Bhishma, Dronacharya, they are on the other side, they are Mahanubhava. They are compared to sun. They are compared to sun. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, according to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should have not accepted such a position simply on financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers, but Arjuna thinks that nevertheless, they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. So now the fifth reason, which is generally spoken by common people, what they say, वैसा अन्न वैसा मन, इसीलिए दूसरों के घर में जाकर उनका नमक नहीं खाना है. Whatever you eat, that type of consciousness you get. So a common people may give his opinion. According to them, Bhishma is obliged. That is a common opinion of general people. So in this way, there are 5 reasons, just to put an illusion in the hearts of the common people and to teach some lessons, that you should be very careful in taking obligations from others. That is a general teaching. And in the Rasatattva, in the superior teachings, then all this Rasatattva comes. Rasatattva, how Krishna is reminded of the gopis of Vrindavan. Then for seeing how the demons are brought before Lord, how adharma is brought before Lord, how the confidence has been given, that all comes in Rasatattva. Eternity, that how the eternal position of Bhishma, he wants to always release it, that all comes in Rasatattva. But for common people, what we should learn? We should learn that when we go and eat in somebody's house, or eat means taking the obligations of someone, we should be very careful. To whom are we going and taking help? We should be very careful with that. So let us see now the 6th verse. Na chaitad vidtaranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyu yane vahatva najiji vishamaha teva sthita pramukhe dhartarashtra na chaitad vidmaha pataranno gariyo. I don't know. Now this is the 5th reason of Arjuna for not fighting the war. Na chaitad vidmaha. Vidmaha. I do not know. Na vidmaha. I do not know. What is better? Kataraha gariha. What is better? Yadva jayeyu. Yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu. Whether we should conquer them or they conquer us. That means whether we should fight or whether we should give up the fight and allow them to win. Whether we should win or whether we should lose. I am not able to understand. I am not able to take a decision. Even if I kill them, even if I conquer them, or even if I become victorious, I do not want to leave. I do not want to live by killing my own people. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. But they are standing before us to fight. So I am confused whether I should fight or whether I should give up the fight. It is like sometimes the lover may say, I am confused whether I should marry you or not. So the girl may say, even if I marry you, because you have so many family members in your house, so I'm confused whether I should marry you and serve them or just leave you and go. Because even if I come and even if I marry you and come to your house, I think that I should commit a suicide. Because indirectly it is said that I don't want to serve your family members. Isn't it? In this way, when you want to prove your things or when you want your desire to be accomplished, this type of dhamki can be given. So now here Arjuna is also giving such type of dhamki. What is he saying? that I am completely confused whether I should fight or give up the fight. And even if I win, even if you tell me, okay, you fight, okay, for your sake, I will fight and I'll get the kingdom, but I don't want to live. That means I do not want to, I do not care to live. That means I'll commit suicide. So in this way, he's completely confused. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Arjuna was not knowing what to do. Whether to fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is a duty of a Kshatriya, or whether he should refrain and live by begging if he did not conquer the enemy. Begging will be the only means of subsistence. Nor was there any certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it will be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, there would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. So that is how here very nicely it has been given. So he says that from this we can understand that he is not a greedy person. He has complete control over mind and senses. That is why he prefers to live by begging. Though he is born in a very wonderful royal house, this is another type of detachment which he is showing. And these are wonderful qualities. Actually, he doesn't have a retaliating nature. Badala lene ka bhav nahi. He doesn't have a retaliating nature. At the same time, even if Krishna, he wants to fulfill the desire of Krishna, he doesn't have the desire to enjoy the things. He is not a greedy person at all. So all this Krishna took into consideration, that he is not a greedy person. At the same time, he doesn't have a revenging attitude. That is why Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. That means Krishna chose Arjuna for giving this knowledge. So unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in all these, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationship. So in some, this I'll be little speaking in Hindi also, because there are other group has also joined. So here we can see, यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं कि अर्जुन कैसे उनके अंदर बदला लेने का भाव नहीं है. उसी समय में अर्जुन अगर कृष्ण के बात को सुनकर युद्ध करते भी हैं, तो भी वे कह रहे हैं कि ये सब युद्ध के बाद भी जो उन्हें संपत्ति या पूरा ऐश्वर्य मिलेगा, तो भी उन्हें उसे भोगने की भी इच्छा नहीं है. तो इस प्रकार से इस अच्छे गुण को देखकर कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को अपना शिष्य मानने के लिए या बनाने के लिए उन्होंने स्वीकार किया है. He accepted Arjuna to be his student and he accepted Arjuna to be fit for liberation. 7th verse is the turning point of Bhagavad Gita. If this verse would not have been there, Bhagavad Gita would not have been spoken by Krishna. Krishna would have not given the knowledge. 7th verse is the most important verse. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yashreyasyat nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Learn this verse. It's a very important verse. This verse, if Arjuna would not have spoken, then why Krishna would have given the instructions to Arjuna? Because instructions are only given to those people who are surrendered. Instructions are not given to those who are not surrendered. You can only instruct those who are your and those who are surrendered to you. Generally, parents like to instruct their children when they are grown up. When they are grown up and if they are not surrendered to you, better don't instruct. All these teachings can be given only when the children are small. and they are completely dependent on you. They are waiting for your instructions. When they grow big, there is no point of giving any instructions to them. We can only instruct those students who are completely surrendered. So here, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. Arjuna, this verse is also for how to surrender. There is a process of surrenderance. How to surrender. So in the process of surrenderance, 3 things should come. So Guru, Adau Guru Padashraya. Write down this one line. Adau Guru Padashraya. Taking shelter of the Spirit. Adau Guru Padashraya. Sadharma Pruchha. Adau Guru Padashraya. Then Sadharma Pruchha. Sadharma Pruchha means inquiring unto the absolute truth. Sadharma Pruchha. Then third is Guru Marganu Gamanam. Guru Marganu Gamanam. Serving the spiritual master. 3 things should come. If you say, oh, I am surrendered to you, I'm a spiritual master, then 3 things should come. What are the 3 things? Approaching the spiritual master and surrendering unto him. Approaching the spiritual master, Adau Guru Padashraya, approaching the spiritual master, inquiring unto him about the absolute truth and serving him. Adau Guru Padashraya, Sadharma Pruchha, Guru Marganu Gamanam. If these 3 things are there, understand that verse is for surrenderance. Process of surrenderance. There is a process or there is a vidhi. Process means vidhi. What is that? Approaching, inquiring, serving. Approaching, inquiring, serving. Now let us see how this verse fulfills all these 3 conditions. Approaching, inquiring, and serving. So when a person approaches a guru, when he is completely frustrated, he understands that there is only dukkha, there is only disturbance in this material world. When he understands this material world is only dukkhalem ashashvatam, when he understands there is only frustration in the life, in the material life, there is only frustration, then he approaches the spiritual master. That is why this first 2 lines where he says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha ruchha mitvam dharma sammudha cheta. Karpanya dosho. I have been afflicted by a disease. Dosha means disease. What disease I have got? Kripanataha. Karpanyataha. Kripanataha. Karpanya means miserliness. Who is a miser? Who has wealth but still says, I don't have any money. No, that person is miser, right? Like when you go to somebody to ask donation, if he says, I don't have anything, bahut tangi hai. He may be staying in a big bungalow and he may be having a Mercedes car, but when you go and ask a donation, he will say, I don't have money. My business is going in loss. And that loss is loss in the profit, but not loss in the business. If it would have been a loss in the business, you would not have so many houses and so many cars with him. Generally, people are, they speak like this. They are considered as miser. That means he has wealth, but he has no intention to spend the wealth. In the same way, we have a greatest wealth with us. That is this human body. But if we are not utilizing this human body and just wasting our life, that means we also come in the category of kripanataha or karpanyataha. That means we are also a kripanaha. Then who is a kripanaha? In the purport, if you see the 2nd paragraph, Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditva smal lokat praiti sakripanaha. Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditva smal lokat praiti sakripanaha. So who is a kripanaha? Who is not utilizing his human birth and is not able to solve the problems of the human life and just wasting his time like cat and dog. Many times Srila Prabhupada uses this word cat and dog. Why not snake and mongoose? Cat and dog. because cat has I tendency and dog has mind tendency, that we have already discussed. What is agyanta? Aham mama iti agyanam. So if the human is just wasting his life in cattish and doggish tendency, that is in agyanataha, aham mama, then he is not utilizing the fortune which he has got. That is why he comes in the category of kripanaha. So he is not able to solve the problems of the life. Kripanaha. So he says, I have been afflicted by a disease, and that is kripanataha. And dharma asammudha chetaha. I am completely bewildered. Asammudha. I am complete dharma sammudha. So I am completely sammudha. Sammudha means sampurna rupena mudha. I have completely befooled. I am completely befooled or bewildered in the in the terms of religion. What is my dharma? What duty? I'm not able to understand. I'm not able to ascertain what is my duty. That is why pruchhamitvam. I am inquiring unto you. So first thing is, he has understood that he is not able to solve the problems of life. When a person approaches the Guru, when he completely understands that he is in frustration, he cannot solve the problems of life, then he approaches the Guru, approaching the spiritual master, and then inquiring unto him. What is he inquiring? Pruchhamitvam. What is he inquiring? Yashre yasyat nishchitam bruhitan me. Yashre. Shreyas. Shreyas, prayas. Like these two words are there in Vedic terminology. So these two words, Shreyas means what is good for me. Prayas means what I feel good. I may feel good in many things. I may feel good in seeing TV. I may feel good in going to cinema. I may feel good in doing all nonsensical things. But that is not prescribed in the Vedas. So what is good for me? That should be the inquiry. Oh Guru, what is good for me? Please advise. Yashre yasyat nishchitam bruhitan me. Bruhi, please tell this to me. And then taking the shelter and serving the spiritual master. So he is now taking the position of a disciple and giving Krishna the position of Guru. When we say the sambandha is of Guru and Shishya, that means the Shishya should always be eager to serve the Guru. Till now, the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna is on the friendly level. Krishna is advising on the friendly level, and Arjuna is advising more than Krishna to Krishna. More than Krishna, he is only speaking what is good, what should be done, what not to be done, what he feels good. So many things Arjuna was speaking, but completely now he is frustrated. He's not able to take any decision. At last he says, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Prapannam. I am surrendering unto you. Please instruct me. I am surrendering unto you. This word prapannam is very important. Prapannam, surrendering. How? Shishyasteham. Please accept me as your disciple. Shadhimam. I am surrendering unto you. Please instruct me. So that is why this whole verse is actually the verse where process of surrenderance is taught. So three things which is required. Approaching. Here approaching, here refers to prapannam. Prapannam is approaching, surrendering. Prapannam, this word directly indicates surrenderance. So when you approach, then only you will surrender. No? Why you approached? Because you understood that that one cannot solve on its own these problems of life. There's only confusion. When a person is in confusion, then only approaches. So approaching, the word comes prapannam. Inquiring, the word comes yashreyas, shreyas. So the word shreyas is for inquiring, and then serving. The word is shishyas, shishya. When you say shishya, that means disciple. That implies that he should serve. If a person says, I am disciple, then he should serve. If he is not serving, then he is not a disciple. So in this way, here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that all the Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. So the confusions in our life is not wanted for. It happens. It is like a forest fire. So if somebody tries to find out what is the cause of fire, forest fire, he'll be more in confusion because nobody can find out the cause. All these things happen suddenly. So the whole, now we can even experience also. In March or in February or January, nobody would have thought that we would be completely in confusion. We would have been locked down like this. And still now all the people are still in confusion when this whole world is going to open and be in a normal state. So these confusions happen without our wanting. Nobody wants fire, but it takes place. So then in these confusions, then what to do? How to solve these confusions in the life? That can only be done by approaching a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. So Srila Prabhupada always says there are so many gurus in the market. So many gurus. Kaan mein phook diya mantra. That person is also a guru who tries to show some magical things. People accept him also as guru. Who tries to show some mystic powers. People accept him as also guru. There are so many fools who call themselves as gurus, and there are so many fools who try to take their shelter also by being impressed by all these magical feats. But who is a proper guru? So now, first thing, who is a guru? He should be in a disciplic succession. We have 4 disciplic succession, 4 संप्रदाय. गुरु किसको कह सकते हैं? जो संप्रदाय में आते हैं वही गुरु होते हैं. First thing. Second is, he should be devotee of Krishna. He should not call himself God. He should be devotee and servant of Krishna. वो स्वयं भगवान के भक्त होना चाहिए और भगवान के दास होना चाहिए, दासानुदास. And third, he should have complete control over mind and senses. अपने इंद्रियों में पूरा संयम उन्हें रखना चाहिए. He should have complete control over mind and senses. Fourth is, he should speak what he practices. जैसा आचरण जैसा हो तभी वो प्रचार कर सकते हैं. अगर आचरण ही नहीं है तो प्रचार नहीं कर सकते हैं. जो प्रचार करते हैं वो अपने जीवन में उन्हें आचरण में लाना चाहिए, तभी वो गुरु कहलाते हैं. So he should practice he should practice whatever he preaches. He should be in disciplic succession. That means he should have a guru. उनके ऊपर उनके गुरु होना चाहिए, उनके गुरु को उनके गुरु होना चाहिए. That is how the disciplic succession. There are 4 sampradayas: Brahma, Rudra, Shri, and Kumara. He can be in any of these sampradayas. So when a person is in complete confusion, material confusions, immediately he should approach a guru. So he should not waste time in just, Srila Prabhupada writes here, the miserly people, they waste their time in having some overly affection for their family, society, country. And one is often attached to family life, namely the wife, children. And this is known as skin disease. Generally we say skin disease, and we have ointment also. But this is the biggest skin disease. And what is that? Having attachment to the family, children, other members of the society. This is a skin disease actually. And thinking that these members will protect me. Generally we see people are dying in the hospitals. And now the death in the hospital is more horrible. At least previous to this corona thing, people that could see them from the small glass window kept in the ICU door. At least people could see them. Even if that person dies in the ICU unit, the body used to be given to the family members. But now the vyatha is, even the body is not given to the family members. Yes. Then what is the use of so much of attachment to the family members without having attachment for Krishna? Just wasted the time in having so-called hard work, in doing so-called hard work to protect the family members and thinking that family members will protect me from death. In this way, nobody can save a person from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals. Yesterday, a calf was born in our Boisal Goshala. And I was just observing this cow. This cow was licking that place where a small attachment is there, that attaching of the cord is there. And that is actually cut. When the child comes out, automatically it is cut. So that part little bit has a wound type. It will be like a wound type. And this cow was licking that wounded place of this newborn calf. It is not wounded, you can say. That is an attachment. Which muscles are seen. And then this cow was kissing this calf. So this is found even in an animals also. It's nothing new. So-called attachment is found even in the animals, even the birds. They go and they bring some grains for their little ones. But then why waste our human life in just having so-called attachment and working so hard for keeping these family members happy? Instead of engaging all the family members in the service of Krishna and engaging ourselves and the family members in service of Krishna and understanding the highest goal of life, the highest goal of life is to get Krishna Prema. And for that, taking whatever Samarthya Krishna has given to us. So what are the Samarthya? Samarthya is our own body. Samarthya is the help which we can take from our family members. So instead of doing that, wasting the time in just protecting the family, considering that these family members are going to protect me. So this is all a skin disease. So here, because of that, although he could understand, here Srila Prabhupada writes, Arjuna could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, but because of this miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Krishna to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between master and disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. This is like again a Mayavad philosophy. Mayavadis think there is no Krishna. This Brahman, there is only impersonal Brahman. This Brahman, when comes in contact with the matter, assumes a form. And in that some great form, that is Krishna. Krishna is one of the great form which Brahman has assumed. Krishna is a person. Only to a person a disciple can surrender. So now Arjuna is a person. Krishna is a person. Krishna is a person, that is why Arjuna surrendered. Arjuna did not surrender to some impersonal Krishna. He says, I have surrendered unto you. Bhagavan Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha has been spoken. Krishna is Bhagavan, Krishna is a person. So in this way, there is no difference between Krishna's within and without. That means Krishna and Krishna, when you say Krishna, that means soul and the body is same. But when we say myself or I, here I refers to the soul, my body. There is a distinct difference between body and the soul. But for Krishna, there is no difference. Within and without, they are the same. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to study Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita can be first understood only when he takes the shelter of the spiritual master. And first, one should understand what are the qualities of the spiritual master, how to choose a spiritual master. And then one should also understand that Krishna is a person. It's not that Krishna is impersonal. Krishna is a person. So in this way, Arjuna completely surrenders to Krishna. And then he says in the 8th verse, now qualification of guru is fine. But what should be the qualification of a disciple also? One should be qualified to become a disciple also. Generally, we always try to test the guru. Guru has knowledge or not. Because guru, the word guru itself, one of the qualification of guru is he should be heavy in knowledge. Guru means heavy in knowledge. This is also another qualification. His words, sadhu's words, shastra's words should not deviate from each other. That is also one of the qualifications. So 6 qualifications we have already spoken. 4 qualifications, and these 2 qualifications you can add up. So Guru means heavy in knowledge. That's all fine. But what should be the qualification of a disciple? He also should be humble. He should not go to the Guru to test the Guru. He should be completely renounced. Humility and renunciation. These 2 are wonderful qualities to become a proper disciple. Humility and complete renunciation. So these 2 qualifications are there in this verse, which Arjuna expresses. Arjuna is completely humble. At the same time, Arjuna is completely renounced. That is why he is a proper student for giving the instructions. Krishna chose Arjuna to give these instructions because he is humble. At the same time, he is renounced. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudya yachhokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamruddham rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudya yachhokamuchoshanamindriyanam. Humble. How is he humble? He says, I'm not finding anybody. Krishna can say, go and take the suggestions from somebody else. There are so many demigods. Why don't you go to them? Then he says, Nahi prapashyam. I do not see anyone except you who can drive away all these lamentation. Mama apanudyada yat shokam. Mama apanudyada. My shoka, whatever my lamentations, I do not find anybody who can drive away this lamentation. Apanudyad. So this is yachokam uchchoshanamindriyana. My senses are drying up. Uchchoshanam. Uchchoshanam means my senses are drying up. I am in shoka. Shoka means anxiety, depression. So when a person is in anxiety and depression, naturally his senses dry up. He forgets to drink water also. In anxiety, a person doesn't drink water. Have you seen a person drinking water in anxiety? That is why when a person is in depression or anxiety, the first thing what a doctor says is drink a lot of water. Because that senses dry up. The mouth dries up. Faltering voice comes out. Can't able to speak. All the vayus have risen up to the head. That is why even the brain is not able to function properly. Depression means what? He's not able to take decisions. That is why the solution is given is first drink a lot of water. Take a lot of warm water. But now he says, my senses are drying up. Then, indriyanam uchchoshanam. So in this way, my senses are drying up. In these 2 lines, we can see how he's expressing his humility, his humbleness. That I don't find anybody except you, Krishna, who can resolve my confusion, my lamentation. Then in the next 2 lines, avapya bhuma vasapatnamruddham rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. So the next 2 lines we can find the renunciation, the renouncing quality or renunciation quality in Arjuna. Avapya bhumau asapatnamruddham. Even if I win a prosperous avapya, that means even if I achieve, avapya means achieve. In this earth, even if I achieve this whole earthly planet without even a rival, that is asapatnam, without any rival, even if I get an unrivaled kingdom on this earth, Rajyam Suranam, even if I get a prosperous kingdom on this prosperous kingdom on Suranam, that means even if I get a heavenly planet, even if I get a wonderful thing, these things are not going to dispel all my confusion. In this way, he is completely renounced. He is not having that pride of having wonderful things with him. He says, even if I have it, even if I have pre-planetary system, even if I get all positions in this material world, but these positions are not going to solve my confusion. So that type of renouncing nature should be there. Though a person may have lot of property, but when he approaches his guru, he should not have that pride of having that property. The guru is not interested in what money you are having. Guru, a bona fide spiritual master. When we say bona fide, means he is a proper spiritual master coming in the disciplic succession with all the qualities. What he sees in the disciple is his humility and renunciation. How humble he is. He is not coming to check whether my guru is able to resolve the problem or not. He comes and just surrenders to the spiritual master, understanding that it is only my spiritual master who is going to resolve all my confusions. And whatever I may have, whatever riches or whatever opulences I may have, it's not going to solve all the difficulties of this life. And what is the biggest difficulty in this life? How to face an examination known as death. That is the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem? Again and again coming in this birth and death cycle, this is the biggest problem. What type of opulences we may have, howsoever we may have, that is not going to resolve this birth and death cycle. This is the biggest problem. So what is the solution for this problem? How to come out of this birth and death cycle? So in this way, here in the purport, so this verse is for qualification to become a proper disciple. So let us read this purport, because this purport is very, very important. Every purport of Srila Prabhupada is so wonderful. And how to study the purport, that also in the last 10 minutes, I will be giving some clue for that. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Shri Krishna. Okay. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence. It was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Krishna, like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is a bona fide spiritual master. For he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that one who is a master in Krishna consciousness, in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is a real spiritual master. Kiba vipra, kiba nyasi, shudra kene haya, yehi Krishna tattva vittas, sei guru haya. So it does not matter whether a person is a vipra or a learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in Krishna consciousness, he is a perfect, bona fide spiritual master. In this way, another quotation has been put: Sat karma nipano vipano mantra tantra visharadaha avaishno guruna syat vaishnava sopasho guru. A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. Padma Purana speaks about it. So what are the problems of material life? That is birth, old age, disease and death. They cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth, economically advanced, developed. Yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentation for family, social, national, international imperatives, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive his lamentations. He sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development, supremacy over the Lord can be finished at any moment by the cataclysms of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can all be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that Shine Punya Martelokam Vishanti, when the results of pious activities are finished, one falls again. One falls down from the peak of happiness in the lower status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and the of Krishna consciousness. So in these two verses, the qualification of Guru, the qualification to become an ideal disciple has been given. Sanjay Uvacha Evamukva Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapa Nayotse iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhuvaha. Evam Uktva Rishikesham. Sanjayana is now speaking. Evam Uktvaha. In this way, after speaking to Krishna, Gudakesha, Rishikesha, Krishna, Gudakesha, Arjuna, Parantapa, who is the chastiser of the enemies. Parantapa. Arjuna is also known as Parantapa. He is the chastiser of the enemies. Gudakesha, one who has curbed the ignorance. Nayotsaiti Govindam. Again he says, I do not want to fight. I shall not fight. Now, after taking the shelter, again he says the same thing. Before that also he spoke the same thing, but there is a difference in both the speech. When in the first chapter we saw, he just keeps his arrows, bow and arrow aside, and just sits down on the chariot. I do not want to fight. And then now, after taking shelter of Krishna, he says, I shall not fight. There is a difference. In this case, he wants to listen first from Krishna, hear the instructions of Krishna, try to understand the whole situations more, why Krishna wants him to fight. He wants the instructions from Krishna. That is why he says, I shall not fight, and fell silent. After that, he is not speaking anything. He is waiting for the instructions of Krishna, or he wants to hear from Krishna. In the previous chapter, we saw that he keeps his bow and arrow down and again starts speaking only. Guru Nahatvahi Mahanubhavan, how can I fight with my own people? He again starts speaking. But now he is silent. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. That is why one of the name of Krishna, one of the qualification of Arjuna is his Parantapa. That means he can kill his enemies. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would be soon free from all the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization of Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Then Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Then in the 10th verse, Krishna sees how Arjuna has now surrendered and he gives a smile. Krishna's smile is Mandahasa. When Krishna appears as Narsimha, he gives Attahasam. Ha ha ha, big Attahasam. But Krishna gives a Mandahasam. Mandahasam. Krishna's smile is described as Mandahasam. Tamo vacha Rushikeshaha prahasanniva bharata senayorubayor madhye vishedantam idam vachaha. Tamo vacha Rushikeshaha. Tamo vacha. So in this way, after hearing to the speech of whatever words of Arjuna, Krishna gave Prahasanniva Bharata. He is smiling at Arjuna, thinking that till now he was trying to advise me, aa gaya line mein. At least now he has taken my shelter. So in this way, Sena Yoru Bhayor Madhya. Now Krishna is going to speak. Vishidantam, to whom? Vishidantam, who is lamenting. That is, Arjuna is lamenting. He is going to speak the following words. That is how Bhagavad Gita is going to start from the 11th verse. So till now what we are doing? Time pass. Because 11th verse is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So till now, why these verses are also included? The previous, all these verses till now what we are doing. Why it is included in Bhagavad Gita? Because it's also known as Purva Kriya. Purva Kriya is also very important. Like when you have Yajna, then the preparation, what we do, that is also counted in the Yajna only. It's not suddenly a person sits, a priest sits, and the person also sits and performs a Yajna. The Purva Kriya, that means arrangements are also required. So lamentation of Arjuna is also a Purva Kriya. And now Krishna is creating such a nice, wonderful scene. And what is that scene? Arjuna is completely in confusion. And both are the chariot is there in between both the armies. And Krishna is going to speak the following words, which everybody is hearing. So that is how Bhagavad Gita is for everyone. Because in that war, practically the Kshatriyas from different parts of the world had assembled there. That is how Bhagavad Gita is not just a book for Hindus. In the schools, the children are taught like this. Bhagavad Gita, Hindus. Quran, Muslims. Bible, Christians. But Bhagavad Gita is not for any particular person, society or community. Because when Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna, everybody are assembled there and all are hearing. It was an open exchange. This discussion was openly exchanged in the presence of both the armies, so that everybody will be benefited. To such an extent, Sanjaya is also hearing. Everybody is hearing. And whoever hears Bhagavad Gita, he will be benefited. So this talk was going on between intimate friends, namely Rishikesh and Gudakesha as friends. Both of them were on the same level, but one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. That is why Krishna was smiling, because a friend has chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as a master of everyone. And yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master with gravity as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both the armies, so that all were benefited. So the talk of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. So in this way, Bhagavad Gita is for everyone. Bhagavad Gita is for every soul, because Mamaivansho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. Everybody is Amsha of Krishna. So we have three knowledge. That is Sambandha Jnana. Now I'm coming to the topic, how to read the purpose, how to understand every line of Srila Prabhupada when he has written what jnana is been given. There are three types of knowledge: Sambandha Jnana, Abhideya Jnana, and Prayojana Jnana. Sambandha means relationship. What is our relationship with Krishna? We are all servants of Krishna. We are Amshaha of Krishna. Krishna is master. Every soul, every jiva is servant. This is known as Sambandha. And Abhideya, there should be a process to understand this dharma. There is a process. How to serve? There is a process. So that is known as Abhideya. And when you follow this process, which has been prescribed by the Sampradaya, then what is the goal? Why a person is doing all this? Waking up early in the morning, chanting the rounds, performing deity worship, cooking for Lord. Then why does this hearing, chanting and all, why it does? Because the prayojana. Prayojana means what is the goal? To attain Krishna's prema. So when we read a line, we should always think, in this line, what am I taught? Sambandha or Abhideya or Prayojana. Sometimes there is misunderstanding of this Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. When this misunderstanding happens, when the soul identifies himself with the matter at that time, he is very much attached to the things or to the people connected with this body. That is known as skin disease. So that Sambandha, if it is wrongly understood, when you see somebody, immediately you should not connect that person to oneself, but connect that person to Krishna. Even if that person is not in devotion, the compassion can be shown only when you see that person connected to Krishna. Or you say, hey, he's not a devotee, why I should speak to him? Why are you not having a compassion to him? That how to bring that person in Krishna consciousness, that compassion should be there. If you are not so expert in bringing that person in Krishna consciousness, then you can avoid. But avoiding that person is not the final solution. Become expert in bringing the people in Krishna consciousness. Like avoiding a knife is not the final instruction for a child. Learn how to use the knife. Then you can hold the knife. Not holding the knife is not a permanent or the final solution. In the same way, initially it is said, asatta sangatyagaha, don't have association with the wrong people. But then, when you are expert in transforming the hearts of the people, then you should search out for such people who are not in Krishna consciousness and make them conscious of Krishna. Because how you look at them, you look at them as amshaha of Krishna. That is how your compassion flows. Like the doctor who, like now is the COVID cases going on. Which doctor deals with the COVID cases? One who is expert in preventing himself also from getting the disease, at the same time is expert in curing that person, can only handle with such patients. In the same way, one who is fallen in this material world, who can go and cure that person? One who is expert to be untouched by his disease, at the same time should be expert in curing that material disease. That forgetfulness for Krishna, that is a material disease. Why is he suffering? Because he has forgotten Krishna. That is why he speaks all type of nonsense. So an expert or the spiritual master, what he does, he has a compassion because he knows how to prevent himself from such fall down. At the same time, he has taken shelter of Krishna. That is why he can see everybody in connection with Krishna. He has compassion towards everyone. So now, if that relationship is not understood properly, then there will be a wrong understanding of sambandha. He will try to have sambandha with everyone, and then he will try to do all type of material activities. That is known as abhideya, wrong understanding of abhideya, wrong processes. So what is his goal of life? Just to enjoy. And there are certain people, jnanis, they are fed up with such type of false enjoyment. At least they have come to know that I am not the body, I am soul. Then they try to seek perfection in the life. And what is the perfection for them? What is the goal for them? Merging in Brahman. That is a goal for them. They consider everything as only Brahman. They don't know how to take shelter of Krishna. For them, everything is Brahman. For them, Krishna is also impersonal. There is no form for Krishna. So they are impersonalists. Impersonalist means one who does not know that Krishna has a wonderful spiritual form. Krishna is a person. They don't know how to take shelter of Krishna. That is why for them, what is the final conclusion? That impersonalism, merging in impersonal Brahman is the final conclusion. And for a materialistic karmis, what is the goal? The goal is enjoying the facilities or reaching at least up to the heavenly kingdom, because so much of pious activities he tries to do so that he gets in heavenly kingdom. So this is a wrong understanding from the beginning. That is, Sambandha is not understood properly. Sambandha Jnana, Abhideya Ajnana, and Prayojana Jnana. But what is Sambandha Jnana? Understanding of the relationship with Krishna. So that is how, if you start reading one line of Srila Prabhupada, if you can take it as a homework, take out one line and fit that in Sambandha or Abhideya or Prayojana. Like here, in the 8th verse, purport. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve the problems without the help of spiritual master. That means he wanted spiritual master. That means he wants to understand Sambandha. And he knew that he cannot do it. That means he wants to know the proper process. So, taking shelter of spiritual master, that is Sambandha to be understood. Lord Krishna, he could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems. So he understood that he was in the wrong path of all the activity. He was doing all wrong activities. So here, Abhideya, what is an Abhideya? He wants to know the proper way of doing the things. So Abhideya Jnana has been focused. So in this way, learn one. If you are reading the purports, fit where it comes. Is it coming in the in Sambandha Jnana or Abhideya Jnana or Prayojana Jnana? Prayojana means the conclusion is that a spiritual master is 100% Krishna conscious, a bona fide spiritual master, Krishna consciousness. Understanding Krishna consciousness is the topmost. That means having love for Krishna, getting love of Krishna, that is the topmost. Science of Krishna consciousness, that is the topmost. Understanding this is the goal of life. So when you're reading the purport, have these three into consideration. Because if you read the whole Bhagavad Gita, this whole Bhagavad Gita has been put in these three jnanas: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So this is an homework. Go on, when you read, go on trying to fit in which jnana it comes to. Whether it is Sambandha or a Prayojana or a jnana. Or whether it's Sambandha or Abhideya or Prayojana. That means whether it is to understand relationship, Bhagavan, Sambandha. Whether it is there to understand relationship, then how to understand the relationship? Bhakti, Abhideya. Bhakti means devotional service. Bhakti, Abhideya. And why? Because prema is Prayojana. That is, attaining love of Krishna is Prayojana. If these three is understood, relationship, process, and goal, then we can understand why Srila Prabhupada writes such a nice, how Srila Prabhupada writes such nice purports, and why Prabhupada puts these all things in the purports. So try to read the purports with these three lines. So any questions? No questions? Understood or confused? In the first chapter, many questions were given. So I hope you all have finished the questions of the first chapter. If you have not done that, then you can go on writing the question and answers, because after finishing some part, we will be having a small examination. You can unmute yourselves, and if any questions are there, you can ask.
माता जी, आपने अभी 3 वो बताए ना, तो आई एम नॉट एबल टू प्रोनाउंस इट. 3 भागों में हमें परपट पढ़ना है ना, एक रिलेशनशिप विद गॉड और ये, तो एक बार ही आप मतलब लिख के दे देंगे, या मतलब आई एम नॉट एबल टू प्रोनाउंस इट.
बोलिए संबंध, बोलिए संबंध।
संबंध,
संबंध यानी रिलेशनशिप, भगवान से संबंध। भगवान के अतिरिक्त और संबंध करने का, संबंध जोड़ने का प्रयास करते हैं, वो क्या होता है? वो अज्ञानता में संबंध है, उसी से हमारा पतन होता है। भगवान संबंध,
भगवान संबंध।
फिर उनसे उस संबंध को जानने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? भक्ति, भक्ति अभिधेय, भक्ति अभिधेय, अभिधेय यानी प्रोसेस। क्या करना चाहिए?
अभिधेय,
अभिधेय। जैसे विवाह कर दिया, लेकिन पति को कैसे सेवा करना चाहिए तो माँ सिखाती है ना, तो विधि जो दिया गया है उसे अभिधेय कहते हैं, अभिधेय।
अभिधेय।
और फिर ये सब करने का प्रयोजन, आयोजन क्या, क्यों कर रहे हैं सब? प्रयोजन। तीसरा जो ज्ञान है इसे प्रयोजन ज्ञान कहते हैं, प्रयोजन। तो प्रेम प्रयोजन, भगवान से प्रेम प्राप्त करने के लिए ये प्रयोजन है। तो भगवान संबंध, भक्ति अभिधेय, प्रेम प्रयोजन। तो इस प्रकार से जब हम एक लाइन जब पढ़ते हैं, उसे हमें विचार करना चाहिए कि ये संबंध में आता है या प्रोसेस अभिधेय में आता है या फिर प्रेम में यानी प्रयोजन में आ रहा है। कोई भी श्लोक भी आप लेंगे तो उस श्लोक से भी हमें अनुमान लगाना कि ये संबंध का ज्ञान है। ये बहुत कंटेम्पलेशन, दैट इज हाउ यू कंटेम्पलेट ऑन अ श्लोका। हर श्लोक इस 3 कैटेगरी में फिट होता है, कोई भी एक 3 कैटेगरी में फिट होता है। तो इस प्रकार से जब कंटेम्पलेशन करेंगे, ये किसमें फिट हो रहा है? संबंध में फिट हो रहा है या प्रयोजन में फिट हो रहा है या फिर अभिधेय में फिट हो रहा है? इस प्रकार से कंटेम्पलेशन करते करते थोड़ा थोड़ा सा ज्ञान प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। भगवान को सीखना चाहते हैं।
थैंक यू माता जी।
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Sachdev here. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually you said to ask questions, but we could not unmute because I don't know, it was controlled somewhere. I think yeah, that's why no one was asking questions because it unmute ho hi nahi raha tha. Baad mein I put it on the chat and then I did someone. Acha Mataji, you said about this SAP, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. Now you said, yeah, you said SAP, yeah, SAP, SAP.
So you cannot remember very nicely because Sachdev Prabhu is very expert in
abbreviation. Yeah.
So SAP, when you see SAP, generally SAP is a tree related, isn't it? SAP?
It's a software, SAP. SAP is a software, management software.
It's a software, okay. It's
management software, yeah.
Okay.
It is pronounced as SAP. Okay, so and there's another abbreviation, ARK NFK for the online devotees. ARK means always remember Krishna, and NFK means never forget Krishna. ARK NFK. Yeah, my question was this, that regarding this SAP, you said that every line of the purport we have to analyze and fit into these 3 categories. Now the question is that, is it possible that a particular line can fit in more than one category? That is my first question.
Yes.
It is possible. Is it possible that,
yes.
Okay, and the second, so that means a particular line can fit in S and A also, or A and P also, or whatever permutation combination.
Yes.
And the second question is this, that in case we read a particular line of the purport, you said every line you have to read of the purport and categorize it. Is it that sometimes it can be, a particular line can be MS, MA, MP, that means misunderstanding, Sambandh,
yes.
So that means there are 6 varieties. So that means there are 6 varieties. Okay, that's what I wanted to clear. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Mataji, in one sloka, I read that Krishna had mentioned everything is in me, but I am not in everything, or something like that. But they say in Tamil that Tunilum Irpan, Turbilum Irpan, in everything Krishna is there. So how do we understand this?
Krishna is there in everything at the same time. Krishna says, I am not in anything. Nobody is in me. Everything is, in everything Krishna is there. At the same time, Krishna is not touched by anything. Krishna is there in this material world. At the same time, Krishna is not affected by this material world. So that is very Guhya. That is why it is Raja Vidya Raja Guhya. Guhya means it's a secret, it's a mystery. How Krishna is there in everything, at the same time Krishna is not there in anything. He is not untouched. So how that only Krishna knows? Because matter cannot affect Krishna. Like governor visits the jail. Governor is in the jail, at the same time not affected by the rules of the jail. He's in the jail. Now you will not call him as a prisoner. Prisoners cannot have a party. Oh, the governor also has become a prisoner. No, he has come in our category. No. So the governor may visit the jail, at the same time is unaffected by the rules. The same way, Krishna is present in this material world, at the same time is aloof. That is why three features of Lord: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. As Brahman, he is there everywhere. As Paramatma, he is there in everyone's heart. As Bhagavan, he is aloof from everything. So Bhagavan means he has his personal form, personal abode, everything. At the same time, he is watching everyone's activities, as Paramatma residing in everyone's heart. At the same time, all the things, whatever a person is using, whatever is there, it is all Brahman. That means his energy.
Thank you.
Technical subject. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
I hope you have understood.
Mataji,
Paramatma, one. Three features should be understood. When a person says Lord is there in the wall, yes, God is there in the wall as Brahman. Lord is there in everyone's heart. Yes, he is there as Paramatma. Three features of Lord. That means nothing is separate from him. If somebody sees an object separate from Krishna, that is where the fear arises. Bhayam Dutiya Abhiniveshatah. He sees something different from Krishna. Nothing is different from everything, at the same time is aloof from everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So a request to all of you also. This is the way you have to read the purpose. That is fine. That is one of the homework. Another homework is because of Srila Prabhupada, we are all here. Reading, chanting, speaking, whatever we are doing, it's only because of our acharyas. So we should remove some time and glorify Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada's appearance is on the Nanda Utsav day. That is the day after Janmashtami. So we should glorify Srila Prabhupada. Now how to
Mataji?
glorify our acharya?
Mataji,
Yes.
can you please explain me regarding Bhagavan? There is Brahma, and then you told Paramatma, and then Bhagavan. I know
Yes.
Brahma is everywhere. Paramatma is in
Brahma,
one.
not Brahma. Brahman. Energy of
Brahman. And I want to know
Paramatma.
Bhagavan, regarding Bhagavan.
Bhagavan, Ati Bhagyavan. One who has all the qualities in full. One who has wonderful form. When you say quality, that means he's a person. We had discussed this verse. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya sashriyah
Yes.
jnana vairagayascheva shannam bhagaitingana. One who has all the qualities in full is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan.
So any human being can become.
Form.
That means any human being can become Bhagavan.
How? Can he have all the qualities in full? Lord, can he be Brahman? Can he be a Paramatma? Only Krishna is Bhagavan. Only Krishna is having the Brahman aspect. Only Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So simultaneously, he should have all these three features. He should be a person. At the same time, he should have impersonal form also. As impersonal, he is a Brahman. As impersonal, he is Paramatma. But as a person, he has all the qualities in full. If he is beautiful, then he should be all beautiful, not little beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Pran. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. So, a little discussion on how to write glorification for Srila Prabhupada. Because when you celebrate the Acharya's appearance day, we should appreciate their task. At least that much we can do. And that appreciation is known as offerings. When you say offerings, means what are you offering? You are offering your indebtedness to your Acharya by the words, by wonderful words. In that, first thing is, we should see how Srila Prabhupada has benefited us. That is how the qualities of the Acharyas should be mentioned. And then understanding that I am so incompetent even to glorify my Acharya. Understanding that humility should be expressed, that I am not qualified, but still I have a desire to express my indebtedness to you. That how Srila Prabhupada has completely changed our lives by making us read Bhagavad Gita. The desire to study Bhagavad Gita has come because of our Acharyas. So in this way, glorifying the Acharya. And then how we can be of some help in the mission taken by Srila Prabhupada. And what is that mission taken by Srila Prabhupada? The mission what his teacher had given him, his spiritual master has given him. And from where the spiritual master also got these instructions, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has clearly said, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna updesh. To whoever you meet, you speak about Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, told, go and preach. Go and preach to the West. That is how Srila Prabhupada, he obeyed to his spiritual master. And we should glorify Srila Prabhupada's task, the most difficult task taken at the age of around 68, 69. It's so difficult at that old age, building 108 temples in the span of 12 years, educating so many people, writing books, transforming the hearts of so many people, so many devotees, just became because of the Srila Prabhupada's endeavor. So just write wonderful offerings. I'll be putting in the group also. I have put in the group also how to write the offerings, how you can do some preaching activity. You say, I cannot go and preach. At least you can preach to yourself. You can preach to the ones who are near to you, your husbands or your wife. Preach means whatever you have learned, you just have to speak. And speak to one
Problem akkada.
open.
ఈ సిగ్నల్ ప్రాబ్లం
You can speak
ఇక్కడ
to them.
ఇటుపక్క వస్తే రాదు అలా
Try to transform the hearts of others who are dependent on you. What prasadam you are getting, prasad means the mercy, what you are getting, give it to others also. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, how many words to write? Up to how many words to write offering?
See, it all depends on, you can write pages, but at least minimum
Minimum
100 words.
100 words. Okay, thank you,
Minimum.
Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Can we glorify, and even if we write pages, is it sufficient? to
It is not
glorify
sufficient at all.
spiritual master?
No, never sufficient. Unlimited.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. See you all next Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Ending the call for the day.
Hare Krishna.